Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a really fascinating company, IREN.
That's IREN, for anyone wondering.
Exactly. And we're digging into their pretty dramatic transformation from just a traditional Bitcoin miner to a major player in AI infrastructure.
And our mission, really, is to get under the hood of that pivot.
Right. So IREN, formerly Iris Energy, they're vertically integrated. They control everything, the land, the power.
Which is key. And they use these huge renewable-powered sites for two things. First, Bitcoin mining, which is where their money comes from right now.
And second, the future growth engine, AI and high-performance computing services.
It's a really compelling shift. That vertical integration gives them so much control over their costs.
For sure. But even with that, while Bitcoin is driving growth, we're talking, what, FY25 revenue around $501 million?
Yeah, 168% jump year over year. It's huge. But there are two big challenges.
Okay.
One, they're still tied to how volatile Bitcoin is. And two, their business is incredibly capital expenditure intensive, just burns through cash to build out.
Okay, so that CapEx, we're talking about the money to build the actual data centers, the power hookups, all of it. That's a massive expense.
A huge expense.
So with that risk and the Bitcoin volatility, how do they create some stability?
And that's the big catalyst, Microsoft.
Right.
IREN signed a multi-year deal with Microsoft for AI compute and data centers. It's valued at around $9.7 billion.
Wow.
I mean, this isn't just a big deal. It's the largest contract ever signed by a non-big tech operator in this space. It basically puts them in the hyperscale league.
The same league as, like, the giants,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft, Google.
Exactly. And suddenly that focus on renewable power becomes so important here.
Because AI just consumes an insane amount of energy.
An insane amount. So for these huge clients, green power isn't a marketing gimmick anymore. It's a non-negotiable. It's what locks in a partner like Microsoft.
And that's all validated even more by their relationship with Nvidia.
Yeah.
Right. They're a preferred partner. What does that actually get them?
It's all about getting the hardware. It gives them priority access to the best chips.
Yeah.
The H100s, the new B200s, whatever comes next.
So they get to be at the front of the line.
Front of the line.
Mm.
And you need those chips to deliver the kind of power you promise in a $10 billion contract.
Okay, this all sounds incredible. Massive contract, Nvidia on their side. So why on earth did the stock drop? It was,
Yeah.
what, 35, 40% from its high?
Yeah, that's the big question. And
Right.
it was sort of a perfect storm. It wasn't really about their performance.
Okay.
You had some sector-wide profit-taking, for sure. But the main thing was fear. Fear of future dilution.
Meaning they'll have to issue more stock to pay for everything.
Exactly. To build out the data centers, to buy all those GPUs, to fulfill that huge contract that takes an enormous amount of future CapEx. So investors are worried they'll either take on tons of debt or, more likely, dilute shareholders by printing more stock to fund it all.
So if you put them up against pure Bitcoin miners like Marae or RIOT, the whole business model is different now, isn't it?
Completely different. The pure miners live and die by the price of Bitcoin and mining difficulty. IR now has guaranteed high-margin AI revenue locked in from Microsoft. They're the only one in that peer group that has real AI infrastructure at scale.
So let's look at the chart after that big drop. What are the key levels you think people should be watching?
Okay, so the long-term bullish picture is still there, but only if the price stays above the major support zone. Call it $42 to $44.
That's the floor then.
That's the floor. If it loses that, you could see it slide toward 38 pretty quickly. On the upside, you really want to see it break cleanly above that resistance between $55 and $57.
So what's the midterm outlook?
I think the base case is it just chops around for a bit, maybe in that $50 to $65 range. But if they start showing real revenue from that AI contract and they announce how they're going to pay for the expansion without scaring everyone off,
Then you could see a real rally.
a very strong rally. We could be talking new all-time highs targeting $72, maybe $80 plus.
That paints a really clear picture. So that leaves us with the final big question, and this is something for you to think about. Will this huge pivot to AI, this stable revenue from Microsoft, be enough to finally decouple IREN from the wild swings of the Bitcoin world? Or is the shadow of all that future spending, the CapEx and the dilution fears, going to put a permanent cap on how high it can go? Something to consider.